Hi everyone, how's everybody doing this morning? We're here at Kardec Radio. I hope you can hear me. I'm not home, but I hope everyone can hear. And if not, please leave a comment that I'll try to do something here on my headphone. Anyway, today is week 4 of the Ben Franklin's virtue, and today's virtue is resolution. Now, sorry about these little skulls on the back here, but this is the quietest place that I could find today. I'm not in the U.S. right now, but anyway, that's okay. They're cute. They're cute. They're very colorful. Anyway, resolution is the fourth virtue. We've been talking for the past 3 weeks. Today is week 4 about Ben Franklin and what he chose for himself 13 virtues, and he chose for himself to really check himself how he was doing on each of them on a weekly basis. And that was a method that he found to really keep himself in check and where he was doing on different resolutions. The first one we talked about the first week was temperance. The second week we talked about silence. The third week we talked about it was temperance, silence. Tell me about order. Yes, order. And now we're talking about, I don't have any notes, so, and now we're talking about resolution. So what is resolution? Why did Ben take this topic so firmly? Well, if you think about it, resolution is what you say and what you mean to say and what you do about it. A lot of us talk a lot, and there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of audio pollution, but we really rarely say anything meaningful. I like to say that if we go to the gospel and we choose any 10 words that Jesus said, there is an intense lesson in any 10 words. And us, we can talk and talk and talk, and probably I would say 80 to 85% of what we say really is not adding anything to our lives or others. And every time that we say yes, do we really mean yes? Are we making decisions and are we following through? So Ben was he was actually very successful in this one because his resolutions really, he made a decision and he followed through. He took that decision to heart. We know at Paul of Tarsus, I like how he says, when he decided and when he gave himself to Jesus's work. When Jesus came in, he had this vision, and he says, and when Jesus said, Paul, Paul, why do you persecute me? And then when he says, I am now your follower, I'm here for you. Same thing with Mary. When Mary was given the opportunity, and when she was given the notice that she was going to be holding the Son of God, when she was holding Jesus in her womb, she immediately said, I am your servant. What can I do? I am here. I am giving myself to you. And are we doing the same thing? When we make a conscious decision to become a spiritist, why is it so easy that people just, sometimes they get into some kind of a bickering or some kind of anything in a spiritist center, and they decide to leave completely the spiritist doctrine. They decide to, and this happens in a lot of churches. We're not just talking about spiritist centers. A lot of times in different places, people make a decision that they want to enhance their spiritual health. They want to enhance anything in their lives, to do a diet plan or whatever it is. Why don't they stick to it? And it has to do a lot with expectations and a lot with planning. The Journal of, I believe it was Personality and Social Psychology, had something very interesting. They had studies to find out why people don't stick to their New Year's resolution and who hasn't at some point in their lives wished something different on New Year's. Maybe perhaps some people. I used to do resolutions when I was young. And then I saw that it's very hard for them to work. Why don't resolutions work so well? And what the researchers found on this research about why resolutions don't work is that not only we don't really devise things and make resolutions on a long term, but we don't enjoy what we're doing to achieve whatever result we want. And enjoyment seemed to be the key. So, do you enjoy life? Are we enjoying doing the things that we do? So this research was very important. And one of the biggest things, and we know that one of the biggest things that we do when the 31st comes around and we're all making those New Year's resolution, and a lot of people want to lose weight, a lot of people want to stop smoking, to exercise more, to gossip less, to get more in touch with their spiritual side. Well, again, research shows that even people that plan to go and lose weight, it doesn't last a month. Usually in February, the gym membership starts going down again. So why is it that it lasts so little? Because people put what they want in the future, but they stop enjoying. And we're not talking about that you're going to be so happy to be waking up extra early and walking. Some people are wonderful, but once you have no enjoyment at all in what you do, it's a problem. So why do people leave spiritual centers? Why do people? A lot of times, even the directors, they a lot of times they may want people to work there, but it's really hard because you want workers at the center, yet you want workers that will have resolutions, that will stay, that will have discipline with work. At the same time, people that have no activities at a different spiritual centers, they don't enjoy as much. Once you have a little task, you start enjoying it more. So we have to look at that and think about it. If you have any kind of a duty to do, if you have anything that you are responsible for doing, you may enjoy that place a little better. Yet, if you're not a person who is resolute, a person who is going to take it seriously with a discipline, very rarely you will be given a task. So you see how there's a dichotomy there. You want to be a worker, yet you have to show that you do have the discipline that is required of such serious work. But again, if it is a diet, if it is whatever it is in our lives, Ben Franklin said, stick to what you decide to do. And that is extremely important. Because if we stop and we start, how many of us are procrastinators and how many of us begin things? We build bridges that we'll never cross. How much time are we wasting, right? How much time are we wasting really building bridges that we'll never cross? For example, I used to want to play the guitar. That just went a few years back. My father is an excellent guitar player. And I used to see him and I said, I want to do that too. So I started taking guitar classes online, and I got my guitar and did all that. And then when I noticed that I had to really compromise other things that I had on my plate in order to do guitar, it stopped being enjoyable because I started trying to learn the guitar, but my mind was someplace else. And I realized that I took a resolution. I made a decision that I wasn't ready to make. I made a decision that I was not really equipped to do. I don't have a very good coordination. And my father he taught himself to play the guitar. So he said, I can't help you because I did it on my own. And I just can't follow, I'm not a very choreographed person. I can't do any of those dances that requires you to be choreographed. I can't do anything. It's just something that it's something that I have to work. So when you decide what is it that you want in your life, it's better to have a few things that you're really good at than to start so many different projects and never end them, because that'll also cause psychologically the feeling of failure. Oh, I've tried this. And absolutely, we should try different things. The thing is, are you going to commit? Trying is very different than committing. So you can try to go to a spiritual center. You can try to read a book. You can read the summary. You can read what the book is all about, and you can give it a shot. You can say, well, let me try 2-3 chapters. If the book is really not bringing me something, then I'm not going to continue with the other 800 pages that it has. That's not a problem. Now, if you're committed to learning, and there is a book that you may not like, you already know that it's 800 pages, and you may not like to read all those 800 pages, but it's something that you are going to be studying. And you start to enjoy it because now you know that at the end, you will have this amazing amount of knowledge. You see, it's a different thing. Trying and committing are two different things. So many people come, again, to a spiritual center, and they are trying to see if it is something that fits into their lifestyle, if it is something that they start to believe and it makes sense. And some people give it only 2 years. 2 years is absolutely nothing for you to know if you are ready to really give yourself into something. So people come in and they spend a few months, and then usually people will leave because they're not given something that they wanted, or it usually has to do with bickering between two different people or something like that. And then they leave. So if you think about it, they were not committed to begin with. In the work of Jesus, when you commit yourself, and I'm not saying committing to a church, committing to a spiritual center, I'm talking about committing to the work of goodness, to the work of Jesus. It's not something that you're trying. It's very hard for you to just try to do something good. But when you commit to it, it's a resolution. And that's what Ben Franklin was talking about. What are we committing to do? There are so many days that people say, oh, Deborah, you're in front of a spiritual center. I couldn't imagine what goes on behind the scenes that you have to deal with. I'll say that most of the times it's bickering. It's people that they're not, they get angry because I say no to something, because I have a bigger vision of something. And it's really the littlest things that give the biggest amount of work. But why do you keep going? People say, well, I keep going because I'm not doing it for me or even for others. I'm doing it as I'm taking this work, as I'm doing something for God, for Jesus. It's something that was called for my mission to do the most amount of good that I could inside of an establishment. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing to please anyone. And when you do that in your life, when whatever it is that you decide to do, you're doing it with a mission. You're doing it with a much bigger reason than pleasing someone, than being a temporary path. Then you really will commit. Then you're really taking this resolution seriously. How many of us have heard in Matthew's when Jesus said, let your yes be yes and your no be no? So many times we begin our day and we have a plan, and someone takes us off this plan because they ask us for a favor, they ask us to do something, and we truly want to say no because we have a plan, we have a mission, but we easily allow ourselves to get sidetracked because we believe that saying yes is doing a good thing, when many times saying no is a much, much bigger goodness that you can do. A lot of times saying no to a friend, when you know your friend is on the wrong path, will perhaps even end this friendship, but yet you know that you are doing the right thing. So let's think about allowing your yes to be yes. That's a resolution. And saying no is also a resolution. So Ben is saying, be a man of your word. When someone says to you, are you going to be there? Be there. Unless, of course, we're not talking about extreme circumstances. There are sometimes. Today I had to come in a little late because my internet was not perfect. So I was waiting to find a place that the internet was working well. Again, I was committed to be here at 8:30. You were committed to be here at 8:30. We were here at 8:30. Some things could change that perhaps we can't, but it's very important for us not to allow the littlest things to take us off the track, because then we become someone that does not have a yes and does not have a no. That person is always depending upon the circumstances, and it's a very hard life to live if you just depend on circumstances. When you do not allow your yes to be a yes and a no to be a no, you become a person that is not really someone with a character, someone you can count on. In a lot of spiritual centers, a lot of directors, they're looking for workers. They're really what the most that we need is people that are committed to doing what they're saying that they're going to do. For them to say yes to the task, for them to say yes to the work of Christ, and not allow bickering with a coworker or a friend or something that they did not like be an easy distraction to perhaps even leaving the center and stopping the whole work. And some people they don't even join another center, or they don't even continue to seek this enlightenment that Spiritism brings us. They simply stop. So Ben Franklin, again, resolution is it's an amazing discovery when we understand that I am a person of my word. If I say yes, it means yes. If I say no, it means no. Chico Xavier, there's a book called New Year's Resolutions for New Year's. And sorry, this is a chapter. And the book itself was called Spiritist Opinion. And Chico said that it's okay to walk 10,000 miles, but make a resolution to take the first step. See, if you know you cannot walk 1,000 miles or whatever it is, don't make that resolution. Don't allow people to count on you for that result. If you are not committed to doing this whole thing, make the commitment to take the first step. So if we make a commitment to say, at my center, perhaps it is time, and I will choose to help them with the monthly dinner, or at my life, I want to do a diet. Well, let's not start by eliminating everything that's fattening, everything that's sweet, because that's a very hard resolution to make. You're saying no on a very quick amount of time for something that will last a lifetime. But if you decide today I will give away the French fries, or today I will give away cupcakes. You see, when you make your resolutions small, when the pieces of resolutions will allow you to be a person that is that has a character, a person that, even though they make less choices perhaps, but their choices are solid. This is what we build on. This is what being a spiritist is all about. St. Augustine on the Spirits book says that he would right before sleep, he would examine all his actions throughout the day, and he would really pay attention to what he could have done differently. And that was really the key to progress. That was the key for you to change in your life, for you to be a man of your word, a woman of your word, right? A person of your word. For you to examine what's not working in your life, and for you to really make a decision, a conscious decision to change that and follow through. Because so many of us make decisions, so many of us procrastinate those decisions, so many of us, again, build bridges that we'll never cross. And that is such a waste of time. Sometimes we want to grab everything that's given to us and we finish nothing. Have you ever heard that phrase, jack of all trades and master of none? Well, that's pretty much it. Some people are jack of all trades and really are master of nothing. So they pick up all these different things in life to do, but yet they are not committed fully, and they're not good at any of them. They just know pieces of them. And it's a good thing to try everything. Trying is fine. That doesn't mean committing. And we would not commit if we didn't try. So there's two different things. Being a jack of all trades is a good thing too, except that you have to choose to be a master of a few. If you're going to commit yourself into your own growth, your spiritual growth, you have to commit yourself. You see Vanessa here, Vanessa Saloni is always here daily. She commits herself, she takes part of her life to study with all of you, all of us, right? That is a commitment that she made. That is a resolution that she made in her life. She could be playing with her daughter, she could be with her husband, all of us that have anything that we do and that we commit. And then we have the enjoyment in it because we know how good that is to our soul. You see, loving yourself is not giving you what you want. It's giving your soul what is best for it. That's the true meaning of loving yourself. And Ben Franklin is saying resolution is part of loving yourself, because when you say yes and you allow yourself to embrace that yes and not allow the littlest concept, the littlest thing sidetrack you, that is loving yourself, because you're committing to something that is so much bigger than the distractions. And yes, friends, we will have distractions in life. We will have periods that we cannot absolutely be so stuck on our yeses and our nos. There are cases that we will have to break that. So I like to always say that nothing is so rigid, and nothing should be so rigid, right? But I'm saying on majority of times, of course, we have to look at ourselves and say, how many times am I saying yes? How many times am I that friend that is always asking me for a ride? And truly, some days I just want to go someplace else, but I end up saying yes to them because I don't want them to not like me. And then you do this taken away from your own peace and mind, because perhaps that day you did not want to give them a lift to wherever it was. But you're doing this because you're fearing of pleasing others, of not being accepted. And then we end up not accepting ourselves because we fail on our yeses and our nos. We say yes when we want to say no. We say no when we want to say yes. And whatever it is that you're resolute and that you decide to take upon yourselves, make sure you're realistic. That's another very important point, is a lot of times we are not realistic on the things that we make a decision on. And then we end up giving up. People want to drop 2 dress sizes before their wedding. That is in 3 months. Well, it's not a realistic task. I mean, it's doable, but not in a healthy way. But then the minute they get married, what do? I don't have to worry about my health anymore. So let's really pay attention. Let's really pay attention to what it is that we're committing ourselves to. And if you're committed to spiritual growth, invest in spiritual growth. Don't leave because of the littlest nuisances, the littlest bickerings, and then you close that door to yourself, to your own spiritual growth. Let's be more persistent. Let's allow people to know that when they look at us and when they receive a yes from us, they know that it is a yes. And let's be given this yes to Christ's work. We are called to do his work. And we're called, doing his work is really trying to imitate him. That's what doing Christ's works. That is what being a Christian is all about. Trying to imitate Jesus as best as you can. Friends, it was a pleasure to be here with you. I'm sorry that it's probably getting a little loud because they just put the sound next door. But I'm doing the best that I can, okay? Next Sunday, we'll have our morning coffee for the soul again. We will be on the 5th week. And let me say hi to a few people here. Oh, we have Chris here. Thank you, Chris, for showing up. We have Nora. We have Lina Duarte here. Vanessa's watching as well. Hey, Vanessa. We have Marcela Gonzalez saying good morning. Good morning to you, Marcela. Good morning to Marsha Lucas. She's here too, saying good morning. We have Jennifer. Jennifer is here as well. And we have Valeria. Valeria, good morning to you. We have Adelida Silva saying thank you for watching. I know it's Sunday early in the morning, so to be up and watching something that is mind and soul enhancing, it's tough. A lot of people want to wake up and just watch the cartoons, right? So thank you for being here. And Nora Brazil is saying thank you as well. If you have any links, anything that you want to leave in the comments, please do so. Do not forget to watch Kardec Radio. It's such an amazing, there's so many things that, so many morning coffees for the souls that are there. The YouTube channel, make sure you leave that on your app, on your phone. All right, everyone. Kisses to you all. Have a wonderful Sunday.